Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Thursday, February 12th, 2026.
hmm
And if you have been waking up this week feeling this very specific, very strange kind of tension,
I think a lot of people have.
yeah, like you're strapped into a rocket ship that's vibrating on the launch pad, but the countdown clock is just stuck.
Stuck on hold. Yes, that's a perfect way to put it.
You're not alone. You might just be tapping into the current astrological archetype for Virgo.
hmm
We're looking at the window from right now through, say, mid-March.
And the source material we're unpacking today describes this period as a massive energetic contradiction. It's a real push-pull.
A contradiction, how?
Well, on one side, you have this immense, almost crushing pressure, like the weight of the world is on your shoulders.
Okay, I feel that.
But on the other side, and this is what's so interesting, it's linked to this insatiable, limitless feeling of being hungry for more.
Right, it's that feeling of, I can do anything, so why is it so hard to just, get breakfast started?
Exactly. It's a hunger born of potential, not desperation.
So to help us navigate this, we are digging into a very detailed reading from Baba Jolie Guided Messages. It's called Hungry for More No Limits as You Pursue Success.
And we should be clear, this isn't just about reading horoscopes. We're treating this as a strategic map.
A map for your career, for your
Yep.
bank account.
Yeah.
I mean, the cards that came up, the Tower, the Devil, the Moon, these are the heavy hitters of tarot.
Oh, they're the big ones.
It's like the Avengers of archetypes showed up, but they're all arguing in your living room.
They are definitely at odds, which explains that friction you might be feeling. So our mission today is to decode that. We're going to look at why the Tower, which is usually the scariest card in the deck, is actually your best friend right now.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We also have to talk about a really weird thing happening in the job market, the closed gatekeeper effect, and a scientific analogy involving fleas?
Fleas,
Oh.
okay. Plus, we're going to touch on why checking your teeth. Yes, literally, your teeth might be the most important career advice you get this month.
It is surprisingly practical advice. It really anchors the spiritual in the physical.
All right, let's do this. Let's start with the big one. The Tower.
A heavy lifter.
Yeah, if you know anything about tarot, or even if you just look at the picture, a tower, lightning, fire, people falling.
Mm-hmm.
It's the card of destruction.
Pure chaos. Things falling apart, people see it and they panic.
But the source, Baba Jolie, points out something that just completely flips the script. This card appeared in the protagonist energy position.
In that context, that changes the entire psychological framework. Usually we see the Tower as an external event.
Like the market crashes, or you get fired.
Exactly. The lightning strikes you. You're the victim of the chaos. But in the protagonist position, well, it means you are the Tower.
So the chaos isn't raining down on me, I'm the one bringing the thunder.
Precisely. You are the agent of change. You're the catalyst. You're the one looking at the structures in your life. A rigid corporate hierarchy, an outdated business model, and you are deciding to demolish it.
So you're not losing your home, you're starting a renovation.
You're the demolition expert. I love that.
That's a huge shift in agency. It turns fear into power. But let's be real, demolition is messy, it's loud,
There's dust everywhere.
and it takes a lot of energy. Which brings us to the card right alongside it, which explains the exhaustion, the Seven of Wands.
Ah, the Seven of Wands. Visually, it's often someone on a hill fighting off attackers from below. It's the stand your ground card.
And it feels like that.
It paints a picture of someone who is, frankly, exhausted. They're holding it all together, maybe doing the work of 3 people, managing a transition with 1,000 moving parts.
So if you're feeling burned out right now, that's not a sign of failure. Because I think that's the default assumption.
No, and that is the key insight here. The source emphasizes that this exhaustion is actually a symptom of competence.
A symptom of competence, I like that.
The Seven of Wands here means you are above the competition. You're persevering where others would have quit weeks ago. People are watching you, and they're surprised by your resilience.
So you're winning, but it just feels like fighting.
Because you're operating at a level most people can't sustain. You're holding up the sky.
But there's a danger there, isn't there? That's where the resistance position card comes in. The Devil.
It does, but the Devil is a fascinating archetype. It represents our earthly tethers, our rawest drives. In this context, it's obsession.
Obsession.
It's that laser focus on a goal, which drives that hungry for more feeling. You need a bit of that devil energy to be a disruptor.
But the shadow side, the resistance.
Is that it can lead to toxic behavior. More like being toxic to yourself. The source warns about burnout, specifically driven by micromanagement or a toxic work environment.
Right.
The devil is that voice that says, you can't stop, You have to do more, even when your body is screaming for a break.
So, to recap, you're the protagonist shaking up the system.
And the tower.
They're outperforming everyone.
Seven of Wands.
But you are at risk of obsessing until you crash and burn.
The devil, yes. That is a high-octane cocktail for February. It is not a cozy month.
No.
Yeah.
And this dynamic plays out very specifically for anyone on the job hunt.
Oh, this part resonated. I think a lot of people will feel this because if you are looking for a job in early 2026, the vibe is just weird. Not just hard, but baffling. The source calls it feeling like the gatekeepers are closed.
Like you're screaming into a void, you send the resume, you have a great portfolio, and
It's silence.
And that's that Seven of Wands energy again, feeling like you're fighting just to be seen. But the source offers a reality check that is both validating and a little annoying.
Which is?
The problem isn't that you aren't good enough. The problem is that you are overqualified.
Oh, that's the most frustrating compliment you can get. We'd love to hire you, but we can't afford you.
Exactly. Or, you're too smart for this role, you'll get bored. Companies are dealing with budget cutbacks. They see your resume, they see that tower energy, and they realize...
They can't handle me.
Well, they realize, one, they need you, but two, they can't pay you what you're worth, or they're intimidated, so they ghost you. But the reading says this silence is about to break. Suddenly, you're going to have options.
Two specific options, actually, and this is where you need to be really sharp. It's a classic fork in the road.
Okay, what's option A?
Option A is the Chariot. Victory, willpower, speed. This is a role where you hit the ground running, fast-paced, high momentum. It feels like progress.
That sounds good. That aligns with the hungry for more vibe.
It's a healthy challenge.
And option B?
Option B is the Trap. It looks safer on paper, slower paced, maybe a stable title, but, and this is a big warning, it has the moon crossed by the devil attached to it.
Oh, wow. The moon and the devil. That sounds like the start of a horror movie.
It suggests an illusion, specifically an undercurrent of toxicity hidden behind a calm facade. The phrase used was a well-run operation.
So it looks organized.
But underneath, there is a control freak waiting to make your life difficult. Micromanagement is the key danger. And for someone with tower energy, being micromanaged is a death sentence.
So the advice is, if it looks too quiet, or if the boss seems a little too involved in the details, run.
Trust your gut. That's the moon. If something feels off or hidden, it is.
Okay, speaking of interviews, there was this one piece of advice that was so random I just have to bring it up. The source literally stopped and said, check your teeth.
It is a very peculiar detail, isn't it?
I mean, normally we get advice like visualize success. This was, hey, if you just ate, floss before you walk into the room.
It seems trivial, but if we connect it to the bigger picture, it aligns perfectly with that Seven of Wands standing out energy.
How so?
When you're operating at a high level, when you're the protagonist, the smallest distraction can throw you off.
The spotlight effect. If I know I have spinach in my teeth, I'm not thinking about my 5-year goals. I'm thinking about the spinach.
Exactly. And the person interviewing you is distracted too. The source was very insistent. It's about removing any reason for self-consciousness so you can fully embody that chariot confidence. It's about removing friction.
Check your teeth is the new trust your gut. I love it. Okay, I want to pivot to the psychological state here.
Yeah.
We talked about being the tower, but the source used this great analogy to explain why we still feel stuck. The story of the fleas.
Yes, this is a classic anecdote. The premise is you put fleas in a jar and screw the lid on. They'll jump and hit the lid over and over. Ping, ping, ping.
Sounds painful.
It is. But they adapt. Eventually, they learn to jump just below the height of the lid to avoid hitting it. They create an internal ceiling.
And the kicker is what happens when you take the lid off.
You remove the lid, the barrier is gone. But the fleas continue to jump only to the height where the lid used to be.
Wow.
They have internalized a limit that no longer exists in reality. They're trapped by their memory of the lid.
And that's exactly what this month is about. The tower has blown the lid off. The bad job, the old contract, whatever was holding you down, it's gone.
Or you're in the process of destroying it, but you might still be mentally jumping at the old height.
Which would cause brain fog, right? Confusion.
And high cortisol levels. The physical toll is real. You're revving the engine with the parking brake on.
So how do we release the brake? The source had a specific prescription, and it was not work harder.
No, quite the opposite. A creative outlet. And this is crucial. It cannot be for work, and it cannot be for money. It has to be purely for expression.
Why?
You need to release that pent-up energy so you can actually see that the lid is gone. You need to reset your vision to recognize the new horizon.
Which brings us to seeing things clearly, especially our mistakes, this concept of the happy accident. The source mentioned the wrong decisions card, which sounds terrible,
Nobody wants to draw that card.
but it was immediately clarified with the happy accident card.
This is a profound shift in perspective, especially for perfectionists.
Ah.
We often judge a decision as wrong because the immediate outcome isn't what we pictured.
Right. I ruined the canvas.
Exactly. The artist walks away feeling deflated, but when they come back later,
They see it differently.
they realize that mistake actually laid the foundation for something much better. The wrong turn led to the scenic route.
So if you made a choice this month and you're thinking, oh no, I really messed this up, the message is, wait.
Wait, the wrong decision might just be a blessing in disguise. The universe is effectively guiding you to a better outcome by sabotaging your original smaller plan.
And this redirection seems to be pointing towards some serious financial growth. We kept hearing about the number 888.
888 is a potent symbol for wealth and financial abundance. The source wasn't subtle, predicting a potential doubling or even tripling of finances in the future.
Tripling sounds nice, but right now in February, the advice was more conservative.
It was a warning against sparkly things. That's
Yeah.
the devil card influence again, as temptation. It's about recovering from December and January spending.
But at the same time, a push toward passive income.
Yes, and that connects back to the flea jar. You can't just work 3 times harder. You're already exhausted.
You're still on that hill with the 7 of Wands.
Exactly. You have to change the mechanism. The source mentioned using debt as an investment tool or partnering with social media platforms. You stop trading time for dollars.
Got it. Okay, before we wrap up, we have to talk social dynamics in March. There was a weirdly specific warning about office romance.
Or perhaps unwanted office romance. The reading highlights March for networking, but it flags a sticky situation.
At a team drink or something, what happens?
A colleague, not a boss, but a peer, might make a pass or reveal secret feelings.
And the listener's reaction is not interested.
The listener is in chariot mode, focused on goals, but the advice is crucial. Let them down diplomatically. Do not crush them.
Why? If they're being inappropriate, why not shut it down hard?
Because the source explicitly says a bruised ego becomes a problem. You don't want to create an enemy in the workplace. It connects to the elephant symbol that appeared.
Yell that.
Elephants represent removing obstacles, but they're also famous for their memory. An elephant never forgets.
So don't create a problem that will come back to haunt you later.
Handle it with grace, and you keep the path clear.
That is incredibly savvy advice. Now, the last symbol was related to the artist Prince.
Yes, the eye. The source mentioned Prince would often draw a stylized eye instead of writing the letter I.
Which is just cool, but what does it mean for us?
Vision, the third eye. Seeing the future outcome clearly before it manifests. You have
Yeah.
to see the new structure before you can build it. You have to visualize the jump without the lid.
So let's synthesize this wild ride. We started with the explosion of the tower.
But it's a controlled explosion because you are the one pressing the button.
Then we navigated the exhaustion of the 7 of Wands and the flea jar mentality, realizing the limits are gone.
We warned about the toxic job offer and the colleague with a crush.
And we landed on the promise of 888 that financial expansion is coming if you can weather the chaos.
And through it all, the theme is trusting that chaos has a purpose. The happy accident isn't a mistake, it is a correction.
That leads me to a final thought. The Force suggests that happy accidents happen when things don't go according to your plan, because a better plan is in motion. So, here's the question. If your current tower moment, that chaos, that stress, that thing that feels like a disaster, what if it's actually just the lid being taken off your jar?
That's the question to sit with. Are you scared of the open air, or are you ready to jump higher?
Sounds like we're ready to jump. Thank you all for diving in with us today. Good luck with those interviews. Check your teeth. Seriously, check them. And we will see you on the next deep dive.
Take care.